And this is Jeff. How y'all doing?
Hey guys, so we are here live together. Special guest. Actually, the other part of Notary Educators is in the house. So, for those of you who may not know, we are a notary duo team, couple, etc., etc. Jeffrey EO and myself. We are notary educators. Also, in addition to our own notary business, we actually educate notaries nationwide how to notarize like a what?
Like a pro.
Like a pro. So we wanted to come back and do a follow up about a story we told you yesterday that happened real time. Y'all was with me. Oh, can you tell them we're live in the chat and group me?
Okay.
Because our members wanted to see what happened. Hey guys, welcome. Oh, I gotta cut that off. And welcome to those who will join us on the replay and the podcast. So just a little bit about what happened yesterday. And then I'm going to get your comments and everything, but because of the way the camera's situated, we're going to hold the comments and everything to the end, okay? And then I'm going to take your comments and we'll let Jeffrey kind of skedaddle out of here. Hey, Sandy, how are you? What's up? What's up? And I can actually see some of the comments too, so we'll see what I can see as we're going along. So just a little recap into what happened yesterday. So we had a notary job, and I talked about needing witnesses. I was not able to find any, and it was just a hot mess. I had to end up paying. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Maria. How are you? So I had to end up actually hiring someone to be the witness and pay them a little bit more than I normally would because I just couldn't find nobody to be the witness yesterday. It was just terrible. So one of the tips I left yesterday was certain documents will require a witness. That's your power of attorneys, your wills, deeds. It's a lot of documents that require witnesses. So that's very important to having a successful business. So we're going to tell you what happened yesterday. Actually, I'll let Jeffrey tell you. Hey, S. Abdul, what's up? What's up?
So this is what the what was that job we did?
Where we couldn't do the signing.
Yeah. So you followed us yesterday as we were going out for the power of attorney, which was about 40 minutes away from us. And that's when Kimmi sent off the message to try to get somebody to come out, and that was local, that could be a witness for us. And because we couldn't, then we reached out to another person that's actually was Kim's mentor as far as doing notary work, and asked him would he be able to do it. And so we gave him a fee, and he lives kind of in our area, kind of in the area, so it would be a drive for him as well. So he started to come, and the way we planned it is that we would be there maybe like a half an hour beforehand to kind of get all the prep work done, the journal, get the signing done, and then the witness would come in because I think he had a situation with his scheduling as well. So we just had him just going to come in and sign as the witness and leave. So that was the plan. So we get to the plan. So and everything, when you have an idea of how it's going to go, and if once you do this enough times, then you just kind of go with the flow. But obviously, if the first time you're doing it, you're kind of nervous. But this was a little bit different in that we know we were doing a power of attorney, and it's usually dealing with in some cases it's dealing with the family that's like in a hospital or a nursing home or something like that. This was and I guess it just depends on the circumstance. So this place, it was when Kimmi had looked it up before, prior to us getting there, it looked like it was a house. And so we've done a few jobs before.
If you missed yesterday, go back and watch it because I actually show you the house and the cats and everything.
Well, it was outside.
It was one cat.
It wasn't.
But if it's one, it's another one.
So we've done a job, something similar. I don't know if you remember. Maybe it must have been a couple of years ago. I forgot what her name was, but the house was a home full of people that was being cared for.
Oh yeah. Where the crickery was happening.
Yeah, and we ended up not doing that job as well. But anyway.
Watch them nursing homes, private nursing homes, guys. Because sometimes I'm not saying they're crook, so let's be clear. But when you got private nursing homes and somebody is running the home and then they're trying to get power of attorney over the person living in the home, that could be a red flag.
Yes, so you have to be careful because you don't know what's really happening behind the scenes. You're just showing up there to stamp the paper. And once that paper is stamped and notarized, then once you leave, you don't know if that's really what the signer wanted, especially in a lot of cases.
And you cannot undo it.
Yeah, it's over, and that document is done. As far as the action that's going to be taken afterwards, is whatever stated on there. So anyway, we did a job like that a couple of years ago. That was it ended. It was kind of weird. In this case, like I said, this was a big home that we did a couple of years ago. The one yesterday, it was a little home, and we were like, is this really? What's the setup? It didn't look like a nursing home or something like it. It was an actual house. So we go to the door, and they had on the sign, I think Kimmi made reference to it. She mentioned it about what did the sign say, and not on top of that, it was freezing yesterday. It's cold today too. It was freezing.
We even had snow or flurries on the way home.
Yeah, so that's crazy. But anyway.
But today it's beautiful enough. Yeah. I was going to do this outside, and then we ended up bringing it inside. But it's nice today.
Yeah.
Crazy weather.
So we get, after we included turned off the live, and now we're going to the home. We go knock at the door, and actually, I think it was one of the patients turned out to be open the door.
What's the
Not
patient?
The one the little older lady, and the one that was running.
I didn't see who opened the door.
I remember who opened the door, and turned out I think she was like one of the patients. So
they were short-staffed.
Yeah. So now we're trying to figure out who's who. So when we walked in, it's a little home, wooden home. The floor is it's a wooden floor.
Older.
It's an older house. We're talking about something from the 40s or something like that. And it was the floor is uneven, and you got you have a room, a living room over there, a small bedroom,
another small, like a 2-bedroom.
Yeah,
they had a man and a woman, different races. So it's a group home, like
it's kind of
nursing home, but a group home. Well, it's a nursing home, but it's in-house. So the reason we're stumbling over that is because trying to describe it. Typically, that would be like a group home setting, but it was for nursing home. And actually, our patient, unfortunately, was in hospice care. So at the signing, we had the hospice worker, the 2 family members, and non-blood family members at that. I just want to add that. And then we have me and Jeffrey. So there's a lot going on in this little bitty kitchen.
Yeah. So when we walk,
let me say hey to a couple of people. Hey, Stephanie.
And Sheila Knox
and Sandy and Sam. Oh Lord, that patient could have walked out.
Right. So we didn't realize it when they opened the door, and then I guess the lady, the nurse or whatever that was on staff, I realized later on, a few minutes later, she had come back in the room, and the nurse on staff, she's an older lady. I'm not older lady. She's like a younger lady. She's telling I realized was the patient, hey, you go back in there and sit down. But she's the one who opened the door. But anyway, we get back to it. So this is crazy. So when we walked in, you walked in the side door. Right there is the kitchen, and there are the tiny kitchen. And I guess the person that was representing from the company that did the transfer of the hospice, the patient. And then I guess one of the signers, I think it was like the stepdaughter or the daughter, one of the, I can't remember which one. They were at the table going over the last bit of questions about what she wanted to do.
So we had to wait for the hospice person to continue with their part of what they came for. And we're there in the notary role and waiting. And the hospice lady wasn't very friendly. I wanted to leave some business cards with her, but I didn't get a vibe that she was interested. So I let that go. She warmed up later. I'll tell you about that.
Yeah. So she's finishing the questions, and we know. Huh?
Before that, I told my client very specifically, please ensure that the patient is alert. And she had time to go there, but instead of the person that's paying us and also the agent that was signing, instead of her, hey Lisa, instead of her confirming that the patient was alert, she relied on the staff to tell her the patient was alert. So that created a whole nother situation. Yeah. So we get there, and now what happened? So we get there, and if you've watched this before, you know that we've been through these situations before with our own family. So we knew what was going on as far as the questions that were being asked. So a couple of minutes passed, but it seems kind of weird because we're standing. It's not like we can go sit in another room. It's real small, so we're standing off to the side, looking really crazy
in the dining room / kitchen. And they did have like a couple of stoves or something, a couple of it was like 2 like washing machines in there. It was kind of
it was just clutter.
It was a clutter.
It was clothes all on the table.
Yeah.
They had brought clothes for the patient.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have no room to put nothing.
So it was just like, okay, this is not like at a facility. But anyway, so now once they get finished, she gets up and we kind of introduce ourselves, and then they take us into the bedroom. So in the bedroom, because this is where they're holding patients or what have you, it's a regular bedroom. It's an old home again. They have 2 beds. One of them is the actual patient, an older lady. She's got to be like in her, I don't know, whatever, late 70s or something to that effect. And I was still in the kitchen when Kim went in to kind of start to assess what the situation is. Because remember, if you watched any of our videos, we talk about having to read the room, see what's going on, especially when you're doing signings like this. Patients, older patients in a hospital, things like that, because you need to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so Kim goes in there, and she's, we had our masks on because they had a sign out saying, "Be careful about if you've been away," the questions, if you've been someplace, and don't come in if you're sick and stuff like that. So anyway, you had the patient that's in the bed, the 2 signers, actually the stepdaughter and the daughter, I guess, and then the person that was representing the hospice, and then the person that works there.
That room was crazy.
So it's like it's about 6 of us in the room. It's about 6. Well, it's about 8.
Not 8. It was me, you, the hospice lady, the 2 family members, the worker, and the patient. So it was 7 of us.
7 of us in the room.
In this little bitty room there.
So I initially I heard a change of voice, and I saw that the older lady was sitting up. She wasn't like in a gown. She had on regular clothes on, and she was talking. So I'm thinking, okay, this, there was no red flags up. So now I come into the room. I'm letting Kim do her thing. I had to try to be mindful. There's all women in here, got this, guy in here. So let me just step in the back and just be careful, just be mindful of my space. So anyway, so now Kim, when you're having a scenario like this, and you get this from NNA training and other trainings, particularly for us, we train as far as the importance of reading the room and asking the right type of questions. In other words, does this person know what they're doing? The person that's signing, do they want to sign? Are they aware of what they're signing? Because we've been in scenarios where they said, "I don't know what this is," or "I don't want to sign this," and we like, "Oh, okay, well that changes." Now
it changes everything.
It could be the daughter or the son that's wanting the patient to sign, their mom or to sign. But if the patient says, "I don't know what this is," or I'm not signing, and we've been where you ask them, so what we do is we say, "Hey, do you know what you're signing, that you're going to do X, Y, and Z? You're going to give a power of attorney, authority over to your son or your daughter to do something?" And they'll say yes if they know in their way, or they'll say, they start asking questions of what is this?
What is this? What you want me to do?
And we've been there. It's been kind of, so the patient was, the daughter, the stepdaughter, daughter says that she was deaf. She's been deaf all her life, and she didn't have her hearing aid in, but she had her head down. She had the papers in her hand, the clipboard, because we'd already kind of looked over the paperwork. Before we even
get that far, so just one more step in front of that. Y'all know I hired that person to come out and be the witness, right?
Yeah, so we were
pay him extra money.
Yeah, so we
and then guess who ended up being the witness? Well, it was going to be. So it ended up costing us money. She was gonna pay something though, because after Jeffrey tells you a little bit more, we'll tell you how it ends, and then y'all can put the rest together. So I'm gonna tell you.
So now, this is all about a timing issue, because we get there half an hour, 15 minutes now has gone past. We're expecting our third witness or second witness to arrive, and he's pretty good about time. So now we're trying to assess what's going on. It seems that the patient, she's not going to be able to sign because she was seem weak. She couldn't hear what was going on. Kim tried to ask, "Do she know what she's signing?" But they're saying she got to read my lips. She got to read my lips, and so now the daughter's on her knees. Okay, look at me, but her head is down. She's got her pen.
She was completely out of it.
She had the pen in her hand, and now her hand's starting to shake. And it was
she
like,
was starting
okay,
to get cold.
yeah, she was cold.
The situation was going from bad to worse.
And so when the person was able to look at her, when the patient looked at Kim,
she said, I don't
know who she is. So
she said that I don't know her.
She said, I don't know her. And so
and we had a race thing too. Not that it was racial, but I'm sure is not too familiar. Maybe she don't have that many black friends.
So no,
I didn't say it was racial, but she saw my black face. She said, I don't know her.
So we get to the patient is now asking, what do you want me to do? And a couple of times the daughter says, we want you to sign the power of attorney. We want you to sign it. But she's now saying, I just need to lay down.
Yeah, she kept saying, I'm tired.
I need to lay down. And at this point, Kim said, well, I don't think this is really going to work out. At one point, initially, we thought she was going to do, because she was at one point, for a minute, she was very energetic. So I'm thinking, okay, it's going to go through. And
when she saw the agent, she was ecstatic. She was like,
yeah.
She's so excited. So she recognized her. She knew who she was, but that's not enough to get a signing completed. Okay.
So when Kim and we're at these types of signings, we're looking at each other while we're looking at the patient to kind of eye contact to say, okay, this is going to happen or this is not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jeffrey. Yeah. I'm like,
initially, I'm thinking it was going to be okay. But then,
he was like, yeah, and I was thinking to myself, I don't think this is happening.
So then, once it became clear that she was not going to be able to do it, then she laid back down. She was laid back, and she was out at that point. So now we realize this is not going to happen. So now I got to go and call the witness to say, hey, I know you're en route, but this is not going to happen.
At the same time, the hospice person said they would be the witness. So that's another reason why we told him not to come, because hospice said, I'll be the witness, which is typically not the way that goes. Normally, it is not the hospice worker or anyone on staff going to serve as a witness. You need to bring in your own witnesses. But in this case, the hospice worker said she would do it. And actually, that was giving me a little bit more ease about the signing, but we still couldn't get the patient alert enough to say anything or to be in agreement or anything. And they were trying to hold her hand. I'm like, you can't, no.
So, and they need to be able to, the patient needs to be able to be pretty much aware of what they're doing, even though they might be weak. We've been in scenarios like that. They're tired or weak, but they know what's happening. So then we can proceed. We can go forward with it. When you have to, kind of take your time and let them do what they need to do as far as getting themselves together. But in this case, she was not going to be able to do it. So once we realized that wasn't going to happen, then we stepped out and went back into the kitchen and let her rest.
So at this point, I'm like, we still got to get paid now, because remember, the witness came all the way out there almost, and we stopped him and turned him around, which was 45 minutes. So I'm telling the client, I'm like, look, Stephanie had a comment.
Yeah, so Stephanie was saying the importance of working together in pairs if possible. And that depends, yes. If you know that you're just going for a one-page regular signing, then yeah. And even then, it would be ideal. It'd be nice to have two people, particularly to kind of make sure, especially if you're doing like a power of attorney, it's at a nursing home, something like that. Just someone that could be there to kind of look at from different perspectives. Because if you're the notary and you're there with the patient one-on-one, and you got four of the people in the room, and they could be looking at each other and got little signals going, because we've been in the room where that's happening. So I'm kind of stepping back, because I usually I'm filling out Kim does the signing, meaning she's stamping the paper. I'm filling out the journal. I'm getting the IDs, especially if it's multiple signers, so that we can move it on. But and
normally, the majority of people don't have a pair like Jeffrey and I, like she said, a dynamic duo. He does this full time with me now for the last 3 years. But prior to that, I would be doing everything with my mom. She would go with me as my witness a lot. So most of the time, you're not going to have two people to kind of help you assess the room. But this is what we teach you in Notary Educators, how to assess the room, what questions to ask, even before we get there. But even with the best screening, because this lady, I have been talking to her for over a week, you see what happens. So it doesn't always go as planned. Beauty is her name, is saying that the patient, we need to make sure they're coherent. Correct.
Right. Yeah. So they need to know what's going on.
Correct.
And that they're aware.
So with the witness fee, or with the fee period. So now at this point, no signing is happening. I'm expecting 3 figures. And don't forget, I already had to pay him extra to come be the witness. Didn't need him to be the witness because the hospice person said they were going to serve as the witness if the signing happened, and now nothing's happening. So I'm like, somebody got to pay him $50. That's all I know. So I told her that. I said, well, what we can do, because you got to be quick on your feet as a business owner. So this is what I came up with. And you guys let me know what you think about this. Was this fair or not? So initially what I came up with, and what would have been your thought? Would you have wanted to get paid no matter what plus the witness? Or do you like what I did? So I'm going to tell you what I did. So tell me 1 if you agree, 0 if it's like, nah, she need to pay both of us. Okay, 1 if you agree with what I'm getting ready to tell you, or 0, nah, she need to pay me too. So what I end up telling the client is, I said, Mrs. Smith, I'll need to pay the witness because he was on his way out here. So we'll have to give him that $50. Okay, and then I won't charge you anything for what me and Jeffrey did, our fee coming out here. We won't charge you anything. And I was being very generous. Okay, so what would you have done? Do you agree it was cool just to collect the witness fee, or she still needed to give me and Jeffrey something too?
So in that case, what we did, we were then afterwards. You want to get into about
I was just trying to see what their answers were really quick. Mm-hmm. So what's your thoughts on that really quick? 1, you would have did the exact same thing, or 0, no, she need to pay both of us something. Because again, we didn't collect anything on our end, Jeffrey and I. So Beauty is her name said 1, completely agree to what you did. Yeah, okay, thank you, Beauty is her name. Yep, I love your channel name too. Yeah, so that's what we did. So we collected the 50, but then we're looking at the documents, and there is one place that she needed to sign. Stephanie says the same thing. Thank you, Stephanie. She's in agreement too. Yeah, because sometimes it's about customer service. I mean, again, I asked her to screen the client, so it wasn't my fault that she wasn't alert. I was very clear. And then she didn't screen the client. She let the hospital do it, or the nursing home place. And, I don't know. Either way, she might still would have had me come on out there because they was trying to get that paper signed out. Filled out.
Because the paper was really what they needed. Is they needed to have that document signed so that they can as the person that's taking power of attorney could pay and have access to pay where the patient was staying at, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So
Real Notary is saying 1 also.
Yeah.
So then, so what happened though is we're looking through the documents again. The agent needed to have 1 document notarized. So I told her, I said, we'll just charge you 50 for that. So we still ended up getting 50 in the end. So I made 50. That wasn't what I was going out there to make. I made 50. I gave the notary 50. I mean, the witness who is the notary, I gave him 50. So we ended up making 100 out of it. So it is what it is, because again, we were not going to sign. And if she has to have us come back out there, we left instructions that, because each page of this particular power of attorney needed to be initialed. Everyone is so different. So there's never going to be 2 documents the same. But in this case, so we told them, hey, go ahead and let the nursing home do what they can to help us get it done. Oh, I know that's you, Lisa. I know Lisa. I knew that was you. But since you had changed it, I didn't know if you want me to use that name or not. So that was what happened. And again, it's a lot of little gems. If you were truly listening to the story, you always want to make sure that you are using your screening questions. 2 things happen. Once you get out there, the situation may not be what you think. 3, go ahead and charge that client something, especially if you had another witness to come, even if you want a small travel fee, because I could have told her 50 for the witness and then 25 for our travel fee just to get something. But again, we did end up notarizing 1 document. She did want to leave the documents with Jeffrey and I to come back to the client because the actual hiring person lived a couple hours away. I did not want her to leave her documents with me. I don't want that kind of responsibility. So I told her you could leave them with the nursing home people. And then if everything goes the way it goes that we want it to go, I'll come back out here.
Yeah, because
hire somebody closer.
Yeah. So the issue was that they came to the conclusion that when they did the travel, when they brought her because she was coming from 2 hours away, that I guess whatever drugs they had given her to travel, that she just was out of it. So. And
she was cold. Yeah, it was just a terrible situation, and just sad overall. Again, the hospice nurse was there, so it's not good, right? So it was what it was. And just to kind of put a conclusion on that, because I'm gonna tell you Lisa's story right quick, because Lisa had something happen yesterday, and it was really interesting. She told me I could share, so I'm gonna share her story really quick too. We had a comment. Can you scroll back a little bit and get that comment, Jeff? And then we're gonna wrap up this story, and I want to tell you about Lisa right quick. Hi, thanks for the. You want to? Can you read it? You can read it.
She says, thanks for, this is C Bell 3408. Says, thanks for the scenario. You don't charge up front for these types of notarizations.
You know, to your point, C Bell, typically, if I'm going past 30 minutes, I usually do collect a little fee up front. I really do sometimes. But again, I'm kind of the mindset, I don't like to really do business that way. I really don't. I'm a little softy when it comes to that, because I might get out there for any reason and notarization is not going to happen. If it's further than like that 40-minute mark like we did yesterday, yeah, they're going to pay something, because we went to a jail one time, got all the way to the jail, and what happened?
Yeah, we were, I mean, literally, and that was about an hour away. Yeah. And so we got...
That was our first jail.
That was our first. We were like 5 minutes away. And then
they called and said the inmate can't come out.
Yeah, they can't come out or whatever.
What? And it happened. So we didn't make no money on that one, you know? So it's all good. And they'll call it the cost of doing business. So we'll write our mileage off, you know, and keep it moving. Roll it up a little bit. Sandy had a comment. You want to read, Sandy?
She says, I totally agree. I would have been uncomfortable in a situation like that and would refuse to do a signing.
Yeah.
Right. And Ms. Abdul, y'all had a long drive. Travel fee and witness fee is fair. And then these situations require a lot of empathy.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Say that again, Stephanie. Yeah. They do. And we are very empathetic to that kind of thing. And we try to even go above and beyond with the assessing part, because we've been there when our parents were both ill, or his dad, my mom and dad. And my dad, having him sign those papers was crazy. But fortunately, we had a notary that was able to read past the obvious. So sometimes you have to be able to assess. That's why I'm big on when we say read the room, you know, we kind of teach you how to do that. And we'll talk about mentorship really quick. And I'm going to tell you Lisa's story. Get those last couple comments.
Says one of your screening questions could be medication times to avoid medication interference.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes.
That's a good point. So,
yes.
So as to your point, C-Bell, the next time a scenario like that comes up, then we'll ask, do you know how the patient is traveling? Are they medicated?
And she told me that she was being transferred, but I didn't know she was being transferred the same day that she was having us to come out. And then we've never encountered that. Remember, when you're doing general notary work, it's just like Forrest Gump. It's a box of chocolates. You don't never know what you're going to get.
So, but you learn from those experiences.
True.
And you learn and say, okay, next time if a scenario like that happens, then we'll ask additional questions so that we, you know, you ask if the patient alert, they say, yeah, but what happened is that the family, the two daughters, they were going off the last time they had saw her.
Yeah, she said 2 weeks ago
she said she was up and around, so they thinking that everything was fine. So
but when you're dealing with end of life stuff, you never know how quickly things or the patient is going to deteriorate, you know?
And
so to your point, being empathetic is very important. So one of our trainings that will help you is the estate/trust package course. And that course will help you to know how the documents are supposed to look, what the notarization is to look like, how many witnesses you need, what's the verbiage, common verbiage you'll hear. So that's the estate/trust. You can purchase the course separately at notaryeducators.com using coupon code WIN2025, or it's included in our mentorship for the all-inclusive package. And for the all-inclusive package, you get access to 17 courses. We just released the mystery shopping course. I don't know if you guys saw that. We had Miss Clarice, she signed up. Well, she's in an all-inclusive plan, but she took the course, and the next day she actually did her first shop from what I put it out on what day we released that course, maybe a Friday. Her mystery shop was on a Sunday. So if you're sleeping on mystery shopping, if you're not doing it, so check out the mystery shopping course, field inspection course, Apostille, Wedding Officiant, Remote, Notarize like a pro, literally everything you need, plus with the all-inclusive or the startup plan. We got two. The startup plan also, you get to meet with us weekly live training every week, and we teach you something, and then we do open coaching. So our members are doing amazing. If you've not seen the success stories on notaryeducators.com homepage, Check it out, notaryeducators.com, the homepage. You will see all the success stories. And that's more, that was just one session. So every time we meet, we're doing successes, okay? Every time we meet. So check it out. The schedule for this month is also there so you can see what we're talking about, what happens over there, and it's just going amazing. We're pretty pleased with it. Let's get Robbie's question, and then I want to tell you Lisa's story really quick.
She says, how do we get in touch with you guys to ask questions about the packages and if you help with notary stuff out of state?
Yes, Robbie, we teach all 50 states, all 50. Within the membership is how we do our teaching. So you have access to all of the 17 trainings. You don't have to take all of them at once. You don't even have to do all of them. There is wedding officiant, field inspection, but the main courses you want to focus on is going to be Notarize Like a Pro. Like I was talking about earlier, the estate/trust. Okay, so you can look at the website, notaryeducators.com, and just see which way you learn better, which fits your budget, I should say, either the startup plan or the all-inclusive, because either way we meet weekly, live, like we're here, we meet on Zoom. Nationwide, we got people from Connecticut, New York, Ohio, Michigan, Georgia,
California.
Nevada, California, and then we have the live chat feature that runs 7 days a week. 7 days a week. So look at the notary success stories again so you can see how we actually roll over here at Notary Educators. Our actual email, though, is info@notaryeducators.com. But we won't be doing any teaching on packages within an email, Robbie. Either you choose a startup plan or the all-inclusive plan to work with us. Those are the options right now. So you can send us an email if you'd like, but typically you can choose. We're very clear on everything we offer. You can choose either the $27 plan based on what it says or the $47. Those are the two options to actually work with us, okay? So we don't actually get into teaching via email. You shoot us an email and then we teach you about one package, okay? So we're very thorough, we're very open, we're very honest. We've been doing this for years, so it's not a lot of things that we kind of need to talk about. You just need to choose which way you want to work with us, and we got you from there. Either way, you get weekly live training. Okay, now let me tell y'all really quick about, did you want to add something?
Oh, no.
Okay, and you got access to the replays too, all of the old replays. Urella Notary, aka Lisa is saying A1 top notch mentorship program. Thank you, Lisa. And Lisa is what they call the receipts because she's doing her thing. She's actually been able to teach on our platform now, and I'm gonna have more of that. I gotta just get the schedule together and see what that looks like. But I'm excited for things to come. I really am. Beauty is her name. Says I love the meetup y'all had. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Beauty is her name.
Appreciate it.
So let me tell you really quick about Lisa's story. What time is it? We got a few minutes? Yeah. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened with Lisa. I wish she could come on and tell you herself, but I don't think we didn't talk about her coming on. But I'm going to tell you about Lisa's story. So I had Lisa do a job for me yesterday. Y'all probably heard me ask her because she do it. And she did it. Lisa always comes through. I love that. So it was a divorce signing. And with the divorce signings, those can be kind of tricky. You never know what you're getting into. Are they at odds? Someone's marriage is being dissolved. Okay? So either they're super ecstatic about it, let's sign these papers and get it over with, or either they're heartbroken and crying. So you want to tell them really quick. I'm going to tell you Lisa's story, but what happened at Kroger that day with the lady in the parking lot?
Was that with the one that was crying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done several of divorce signings, and she was emotional about it. She was by herself. Sometimes we'll do signings and they're both there. In this case, it was just her, and she was emotional as she was signing the paper. She was tearing up and what have you. So that was sad. And being as a notary, you are there with the worst times of the person's life in that moment, or some of the best times. Maybe they're selling a property, or they're buying a home, or it's their first car, or they might be ending a marriage, or they're maybe doing something with a family member in hospice, or power of attorney because someone's sick, or what have you. And so in this case, when you're doing we just did another divorce signing a few days ago, which was that kind of had me messed up.
Oh, I forgot about our
Yeah,
own.
yeah, because so if you know the story with Kim, with both of us, but in any case, we had to go do a signing at the nursing home where Kim's dad was at, and he was in the hospital. He left home to go to surgery at the hospital, and he was transferred to the nursing home, and that's where he stayed for the next 3 months or so, and he passed away there. And so I don't even like driving past the place. When we're out and about, I know where I'm going. I'm going to pass the place. I just kind of look forward. I kind of look, straight, kind of block it out my mind. But in this case, we were going to the front door, and when I pulled up in the parking lot, in my head, I'm looking over at this side of the building where we would park at to go into the building, because if you're the family of the patient, then they'll give you a code so that you can come in, so that you don't have to keep going to the main door. I saw that. I thought about that right quick. But we went to in this case, we're going to the main door, and go to the main door, and I'm up there, and I'm thinking about one of the last times we were there. I was sitting out. This happened with her dad during COVID, the beginning stages of COVID in March of 2020. Excuse me. And so not everybody could go in, so we had to stay outside. So Kim was the only one that could go in. So I had that all in my head, thinking about that and being in the place. And so there.
And then we get in there and she tell us they're under outbreak.
Yeah, they said they're under outbreak.
Y'all saw that if you was live with us Friday. Was that Friday?
It was Friday. And so they were talking about
like outbreak.
Outbreak.
We was like outbreak
in the other half of the building, but the way, so Kim calls the patient, the signer, the wife, and she's in the room with the other side.
I said, can you bring them out?
And she said, can you bring them down? But she was like, well, it's outbreaks over there, but
the outbreak in another building.
I mean, what happened to COVID? It had an outbreak throughout the world.
Heck yeah, so they even made me take off my bling bling mask and put on the hospital mask. Yeah. They said that was more protective. So we did.
Yeah, so we're doing this signing that she comes out with her husband, and so the wife, she looked to be probably, I don't know, maybe 48ish or something like that, and the husband, he's in a wheelchair, and I don't know if he had a stroke or something, but it wasn't like he was there, he broke his leg, and he's in good, his mind is there, and he knows he's going through something his own self.
Yeah,
it was sad. Once and so now they're getting divorced, and you're thinking, oh, well, what happened, and what's going to happen with him, and then we're in this place, and all of these memories.
Because I asked her about his address. I said, she was asking me which address should she write on his documents. And I was like, well, is he going to be here for a while or he has another address? She said, no, he's going to be here. And that's when I was like, whoa. Let's get to y'all comments right quick. Sandy says, notarize like a pro. You guys are fantastic. Thank you, Sandy. We appreciate it. Hey, Lori W. What's up? So to put a bow on what happened with our situation, so we went ahead and we did the signing. And again, Jeffrey and I, we walked away, feeling like sad for him. She looked like she about to get her best life going, quite frankly. And not that she was happy about it, because she told us, she said, I'm gonna still check on him and everything. But it was like you said earlier, someone said earlier, you got to be empathetic. You have to. And she was kind of fumbling through 50 pages. I think I told y'all that on the live, or I told you the next day. She was kind of fumbling through them documents. I'm like, I got empathy, but we ain't staying here all day to sign these papers, because I still got to go make money. Yeah, because people, they, sometimes they figure they want to sign and do all those, some of the documentation, like if it's a power of attorney, a wedding, they got to check this box and make this decision. That means they got to talk to the other person. No, we ain't got time for that. You want to be on life support? No, do you want to be on a feed tube? No, it's like we're empathetic because we've been there. But one, like Jeff said, we ain't even trying to hear all that. And two, we got other appointments. So what I did, I gently said, well, let me look at the documents for you. And she was looking at them. So we pulled out. It ended up only being 2 notarizations or 3? Yeah, about 2. I think it ended up being 2 notarizations. So I'm like, let me look at that for you and kind of help her go a little faster. And I told her just what she needed to make sure she completes before she take the documents to the courthouse, because she was trying to get there that day. So I said, make sure you guys initial here, sign here. I just, kind of showed her a few things. That was not my role. Just for those of you who may say, Kimmi, that ain't your business. What's in them documents? Because y'all hear me say that all the time. But me being the notary pro that I am, I want to make sure that they're fully executed. So that might mean I ain't staying here watch you do it, but I'm going to tell you what to do to make sure. You want to hit that comment from Stephanie, and then I'll tell you Lisa's story right quick.
The only thing she says, y'all feel like family. I appreciate your transparency.
Oh, you're welcome. You guys are our notary fam. Lori always got our back. Thank you again, Stephanie. Like and subscribe, please. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Anyway, really quick. So Lisa, what happened with her? So her divorce signing was a little tricky, and let's see how it ended. So with Lisa, she took my job that I asked her to do for me because we had session last night. So he wanted somebody between 6:45 and 7, but we had live mentorship. We meet weekly, as I already told you. So I had mentorship going on, so I couldn't go do the job. I told him if he come here, I was gonna let Jeffrey do it, but he didn't feel like going out last night. So that's what we do in our business too. If somebody want to come here, we'll let them. If we don't feel like going out, we're like after 5, we're not going out no more. Sometimes, or after 7, depending on the day, because we'll go out whenever. But typically Jeffrey and I will have them come to us at a certain point, and it's cheaper too. So we get somebody like, how much is it? I'll say, well, we offer 2 levels of service. You can come to us, or we can come to you, whatever you want, VIP. So anyway, Lisa took the job. She went to the people, and when she got there, the woman who was supposed to sign, the wife, she just could not. Lisa said they were slow coming to the door, I believe, and the person did not sign for sure. So, yeah.
I didn't know about that.
This was last night. So shout out Lisa again, coming through. But in the end, Lisa, he waited. She went out to the car and waited a few minutes. I thought that was really nice of her. So that empathy, you see how that's coming through customer service? Lori W, that's here in the chat with us right now, she did a whole customer service segment for us last month, which was amazing. Okay, so that's why we even teach you customer service. We get beyond the stamp, because you hear me talk about notarizing like a pro for sure. But if you don't have great customer service skills, if you don't know how to collect that money, if you don't know how to do your pricing, if you don't know those documents a little bit, you will not have a successful business. So it all goes together, okay? And that's what we give you a mentorship, okay? But anyway, so Lisa's client, shout out whoever he was, because he was a great man in the sense that, or a good client, because he paid her the full price. He paid her the full price, even though she couldn't do the notarization. He apologized and he paid her full price. So I thought that was a big shout out to the client, because sometimes, and I've had that happen before with that court client that time. I was supposed to go do an oath only, and then the appointment canceled. He paid me the whole amount.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he paid me the whole amount. So most of the times they may not want to. It depends if you get the right client. And they'll ask you sometimes, do I still owe you something? Because they know time is money, right? You invested your gas, your time, your energy. And now that I really think about it, that lady yesterday, I probably should have told her my travel fee at least $25. But again, I knew she had to pay that witness a whole $50, right? And I didn't want to pay him $50 out of my pocket. Now I'm in the hole. So that was another situation. So shout out to Lisa and her client. But you guys can see these different, these are not just fake stories. These are real notary street stories. You can see how much is involved in being a notary. So we're not just stamping a paper. So when somebody called me, you can't hire me for $2. Okay. I don't care if you're in the state of Tennessee where it's $10. Florida is $10. You can't hire me for $10. I'm not a $10 notary, right? Does that make sense? You see all the stuff that goes into this? So we're doing actually sometimes attorney stuff. That's why in some states you cannot call, all states, you cannot call yourself notario publico. Because in Spanish that means notary public. But in other states, in other countries rather, when you call yourself a notary public, it's like a lawyer. And it's the same thing here in our states locally, here in the United States. A lot of these documents that we're signing, sometimes an attorney would need to do these things, but they've trusted notaries, and they get to save some money. So that's why you have to invest in yourself with your training in order to get the money that we don't make what attorneys make, but we make pretty good money to go out there and just sign 2 pieces of paper. Okay, $150, $175 just to go sign 2 pieces of paper. And some people will say, well, Kimmi, how are you charging all of that? I cannot teach you that in a YouTube chat. I cannot teach you that in the comments. That's something you got to come and teach yourself and invest in yourself. Well, how are you doing this? I'm going to get to your comments, so forgive me for those of you who have commented on the videos. I do have it on my calendar to actually come back and answer your questions. But the best way, if you're really ready to get this business, is play around with our channel. We have over 1,000 videos here. We got shorts, long form, whatever you need to kind of learn what we do. And then by that point, you should be able to make an informed decision if you want to work with us or not. Okay, the proof is in the receipts, and we got plenty of them here on the channel. You can check out the actual review playlist. Okay, so sometimes I'm a little slow getting back to my YouTube comments, being fully transparent, but I'm spending time over with my mentees and our notary family in our chat. So they're actually doing signings and doing field inspections and they first apostille. So I got to help them first. And I will be back to the chat over here to answer some of your questions. And we go live every day, just about. So when we're live, it's better to catch us here because, again, it's kind of hard for us to get all the questions sometimes in the different chats. Don't forget, we're on Instagram, TikTok, people emailing us from all over. So when you're really ready to get in the room where it's happening, then you want to come over to mentorship, okay? Let's get these last few comments and we'll start wrapping up. Lisa and Lori just saying hey to each other. You want to read what Stephanie said?
Stephanie says these are real life situations, and it's true. Yeah, everybody's got different situations, different walks of life, what have you, and you're coming in there as within a few moments into their world, whatever that might be. And especially if you're going to someone's home, you don't know what you're getting into. At least you try to ahead of time, but you don't know what you're getting into, especially if you're doing like those power of attorneys. You could see what's happening. You know, they're trying to take care of something for mom and dad, their brother or something, and you have to bring empathy. You can't just say, okay, rush them through. You gotta be patient and work through those things.
Mm-hmm. You have to empathy, and then like my shirt says here, we gonna always at the end notarize like a pro. You got to. We gonna run our business like a pro. We gonna do apostilles like a pro. So I always tell people we do slow cook dinners around here. Sometimes our mentees are even like, well, I feel like I'm going kind of slow. No, you're going at the right pace because you got to build it out. It's not notary in a box. It's not an instant meal. You got to put some work into it and actually work the program. And you're not doing it by yourself. We're here with you. We do have some chats going on over there. Can you check the chat? Lori says, it's very important to have a good rapport with your customers. You don't have to be best friends, but you have to have a level of respect. Energy is contagious. Lori W is correct. She is correct. Because again, you take the lead in the signing. You're the expert, okay? And that's why sometimes people will feel, our new notaries will feel like, well, I don't know anything. You know more than your client does, especially if you've been trained with us. By the time most people do Notarize like a pro, that one course, if you're going to pick one course tonight, if you're watching this and you're going to pick one course, Notarize like a pro. Notarize like a pro. Why? Because that's going to get you your basic training. But once people do Notarize like a pro, they are ready to go. They're like, give me something to stamp. Give me something to stamp. So it's not just about stamping that paper, as I mentioned earlier. You have to know how to treat these clients. And customer service is just not taught. We did a whole session on that, and Lori knocked it out the box. She gave me some tips, okay? So everybody do things differently. That's why I'm so excited about having some of our actual students now, or mentees or notary family, actually teaching some sessions, because they all do stuff a little bit differently too. We always give you best practice, but then when you get out there, you like, hey, why not do it this way? And our way is not the only way. We learn every day too. Our business has grown because we listen to you all in our mentorship. We listen too. We're listening too. Really quick, I'm gonna show y'all the books. I'll let Jeff get these comments here. We got a couple more. So if you've not seen, we talked about pricing. This is the pricing book. Price your services like a pro. Okay, let's talk about the money. And then we have this collection for everybody, because we are in all 50 states. People ask us that. Mm-hmm. So there's a book for each state. Okay, each state. How to start your notary business. It's not that complicated. Okay, and that's at notaryeducators.com. It does come in an ebook too, which is a quick read. And many of you are still like, well, where do I start? How do I get started? Yes, just start with the ebook. That's the quickest thing. And that way you're going to know what you can do in your state. It'll add some clarity to the business, and then double back to us for training. Okay. So by the time you do the ebook, you play around with this channel and you come to mentorship, you too will have a notary business that can thrive. Okay. You want to get those scroll up?
So yeah, we had one from earlier. Beauty is her name. She says, I am working on taking my notary more seriously. I work from 10 to 6:30 p.m.
So for a full-time people, what we typically recommend, and we just had this over in mentorship in our session, is you might only can work on the weekends, or you might pick one weekend day that you can work. Beauty is her name. Okay, so that might mean, you know what, I'm doing Saturday is my notary day. And you make $200 on a Saturday, right? Times 4 Saturdays. How much is that? $800 a month. Could you do something with $800 extra dollars per month? Yeah. So, you know, it might just be I'm going to work on Sundays, right? So it doesn't mean all or nothing to own your business. It just does not. Let's get the next one. And then I want to talk about, who is it? Somebody about to get on me about Jeffrey. Hey, Maria. What is Maria saying?
Oh, you want to read it?
You can read it.
Oh, she says, with all my respect, let your husband talk. Please don't interrupt him.
Well, excuse me, Maria. I get that all the time from him. That's just how, and women talk like that. People think we're like that with men, that you're being disrespectful. I'm not. This is how we talk. But I'll try to be quiet and let Jeffrey have a full thought. Because he gets on me too. But my mind be racing. And Jeffrey likes to tell the whole story. Like, we differ. We balance each other. Because I'm more like boom, boom, boom. Jeffrey will give you every detail. It's not just red. It's red. It's purple. It's yellow. And so that's why sometimes I'm moving him along. But thank you, Maria. And he's going to love this later on.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He's going to remind me of what you said. So we still cool, Maria.
So yeah, that was it. I think that was it as far as the comments. Yep.
Good. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we got a few more minutes. If you have any more last minute questions here, we'll take them and we'll let Jeffrey have a complete thought, Maria. Thank you. He gonna love that, y'all. All right. So I told you about mentorship. Again, all the courses use coupon code WIN2025 for self-paced if you want to just get 1 or 2 courses or whatever you want to get. Some people do prefer just to buy the courses. They're not ready for mentorship. That's all good too. 60% off, or mentorship is $27 or $47 per month, whichever you prefer. You want to scroll up no more and see what's.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Oh, let me see.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, Lori W says, Roha, it's all good. Oh, wait.
She says, do you suggest carrying?
Oh, no, it's a few more before that. Hold on. You go down one more.
No, that was just.
Okay. Yeah. Lori W says, go down. Yeah. Lori says.
No, then it says, do you, this next one's from Stephanie, do you suggest carrying certain items as protection to signings?
Oh, we talk about that a lot, actually. So, yes, I tell people, don't be taking no gun in nobody's house. So, for Jeffrey and I, you know, he's a big guy, so I don't be worried too much. But I do have a mace in my bag. Don't know how to use it. We've never actually encountered anything.
No, but if you're by yourself, whoever, you know, you wanna, if you're gonna meet somebody, you want to meet at a public place if you feel more comfortable, a parking lot, things like that. If you can, if you're going to someone's home, then it'd be probably good if you can take somebody with you, you know, if you can, son or daughter, depends on the scenario, what kind of sign it is. If you get there, they can come outside. During the pandemic, that's what we did most of it. We rarely went into someone's house. They came outside, or we met them someplace. And that's how we do it now. So we'll ask, hey, you can come on outside if you want to, because they only have like one, depending if they just have one piece of paper or two, and we've got it set up, and in our supply list, we got a little table and stuff like that you can use depending on your vehicle and set up so that you can stamp and go.
Which is free. You can get the notary supply list at notaryeducators.com under resources. And there are several tip sheets you might want to look into getting also to get started. Go down a little bit, Joe.
It's just from
A little bit more. There's one more. A couple more tips on safety really quick too is always let somebody know where you are. If you can't take someone with you, because Jeffrey, like I said, he does his full time with me, so typically he's with me. If I go by myself though, and anybody, I always say let people know where you are. Just to shoot somebody a little text, or we talked about this last week. I think it was, there are different apps now. You can pin where you are and just say, hey, I'm at a notary signing here. I should be out within this amount of time. If not, check on me. Or signing companies too. That's why we always say don't change your appointment time, because they know where you are. So if you don't turn back that report after that signing in about an hour, a lot can happen within an hour. That's why I still tell a family member. But if you don't report back to the signing company, typically in an hour or so after the signing, they're like, where are you? Are you okay? So that's another form of being protected. Someone knows where you are. And then again, let your own family or friends know. Just have somebody. They don't have to know all your business, how much you make, what you're doing. But hey, I'm going over here. Most of your family will know you're a notary. And just let them know, hey, I'm going to a signing. I'm at this location is another tip that we use. Just one more that I really love. I don't like to sit with my back or where I cannot get out easily. I'm looking for my exits when I go in someone's home, even with Jeffrey and myself. And I do that for dog reasons too. Y'all know I'm scared of dogs. So I don't like to sit where I cannot get out. Or sometimes with dogs, if I know they have a dog in the home, I'll try to sit where it cannot get to me easily if it gets out, because that has happened before. You want to get to the last couple? We got about 4 minutes. What
Maria says that she's starting and Yelp is working for her.
You skipping what
she says, thanks for all you share.
You got to read it because of people on the podcast.
Yeah, it says, thanks for all you share. I'm starting the Yelp and Yelp is working for me.
And I never had success with Yelp. And I always teach my students to be very careful with Yelp. Because once you get in Yelp, you cannot get out. So I'm glad it's working for you. But typically, Yelp has not worked for me at all. I get 90% of my business from Google My Business and answer the telephone.
All right, so the next one is from Stephanie. She says, yes, Mace will work, but how do you practice using it?
I never did it before. That's what I told somebody. If I had to open it right now, I think you just pulled the pin out. But I never actually pulled it on nobody. So it's a turquoise Mace thing in my bag. I think it's in the front of my bag. Because in my old bag, I had it on the side so I could easily get to it. But again, we never had that happen. Most of the time, like the person that told me about this business initially, I've been a notary off and on for 20 years. But the person that actually told me about the business was in Michigan. And she was like, yeah, most of the people don't even know what a notary is until they need one. So it's not like people sitting around saying, let me go rob the notary, unless you're crooks and trying to steal somebody's property. Then they know what a notary is. But your average general notary call, they don't know. They don't know. So, and just be cautious. We talked about this the other day too. You don't want to be, and again, for my men folk and my women folk, when you go out dressed, go out covered up. On reality TV, yeah, they breath hanging all out, but in real life, don't go out to nobody's house looking like that. Sometimes we can invite a situation, be friendly, but not overly friendly. I've had that even happen with me because I'm super friendly. So you know how I do. Even with men, I'm like, hey, da-da-da-da. And we went to this car dealership, and this guy, he didn't know that I was married. Remember over there at Stonecrest? Yeah. And he was like, oh, you brought your husband. Mm-hmm. So he talking to me one way on the phone, and then he realized, oh, who is this? Or they'll joke when they see Jeffrey, because they have not normally said me and my husband coming. And sometimes I do that on purpose. But they'll talk to you differently. They'll try to flirt with you. And, so just be cautious, how we even interact with them. Keep it professional. Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, for when men go out by themselves. And Jeffrey, I always tell him to make his presence known. If you were with us live about 3 days ago, we went to this house for something personal, but I was still recording. And I made my presence known that, hey, his wife is in the car. He's not at your door by himself, because I was supposed to go knock on the door. And I did not. He went. So, he's fully aware, of his size. He don't want to be intimidating to people. And Jeffrey is a soft walking giant, or however they put that, because he can creep up on you and you don't even know he there.
Yeah, I've had that. That's been all my life. I don't know. It's amazing. it happens. I'm just walking normal, and then people are jerk and say I'm standing right there next to them, so I have to try to say something
Nah,
ahead
you
of
don't
time.
know he there.
But what I'm saying, they don't know until right. I'm like right next to
That's
them.
why I always tell him,
Yeah.
make his presence known.
You know.
Hey, hello, sir. Hi, ma'am. You know, and be loud because he's very soft spoken. So you see me and him, even the way we speak in here.
Yeah.
So some of what you see is just our interaction.
Yeah.
We've been married 32 years.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff and I are friends before we got married. So, you know, some of what you see, and it could be irritating when I cut him off, just going back to that a little bit, but this is just how we talk.
Yeah. So,
get these last comments.
S. Abdul Wali says, I just ordered a mace. Hopefully I never will have to use it.
Me too.
Yeah, hopefully no. So that'll be a story for real.
We don't want you to have to use no mace.
Look for a video from that one, right?
Right.
Maria says everything is great. I didn't want to be rude. The point of understand everything are kind of really quick. Blessing for every one of you. No problem.
Oh yeah, girl. Yeah, we don't take it personal.
Yeah, no problem.
Nah, we don't take it personal.
Yeah, no problem.
And you're not the first person to tell me that too. That I cut people off. But that's how we talk. But I'm working on that though, FYI. So I appreciate the feedback, seriously.
Stephanie Echoes Tune says yes, and my family has my location via our iPhone.
Yes, that's what we were saying earlier. So you might even have a location tool on your phone. Use it.
Yeah. And then Beauty is her name. Says Maria, love you so. Love you. You're okay. No need to explain. Kimmy didn't take it like that. Yeah, true. Yeah.
I am the most unserious person, like that kind of stuff. Anything, not back to that comment, but I'm just saying I'm not that sensitive. Look, it's not that complicated. I'm not that sensitive. And my mentees and family, notary family, they'll tell you, Miss Kimmy, like, you ain't raising her blood pressure. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for saying that. Beauty is her name. And I appreciate it.
Yeah. So the next one here is from Maria again. She says I couldn't finish Google profile yet. So
you got to get that going,
straightened out so that you can have an online presence, because that way people will be able to find you.
That's your money maker. You got to get that going. We do actually have a Google course, not to sell the mentorship, but we got you fully covered. We actually have a Google course and I have videos here too for free to take you step by step, but we actually have a Google course within the mentorship program, and you can buy that separately too if you need some help. You might have to reach out to Google, but you got to get that Google page going, every single person. Last two comments, because we're over time now. Yeah. Beauty is her name, and Sheena, what they say? She
says, Beauty is her name, LOL, I have heavy feet, okay. And then Sheena.
Me too. Tell her what I be doing in the house.
Yeah, she's stomping through the house. I can hear all of them like, what is going on? I'm down here. I could just see it going back and forth, back and forth. The floor is creaking and all kinds of stuff. What is she doing? So, I don't even say nothing now. So, about a couple of hours, because in the evening, she's watching TV in one room. I'm in another room. So she's upstairs. I'm downstairs. And then now I said, what was going on? Well, I was running back and forth at the computer. So I'm like, now I don't even pay no attention. So,
I told y'all we complete opposites when it comes to certain stuff. Yeah. Get Sheena comment. It's so many people joining us. Really quick, I'm gonna let Jeffrey go. We got a bunch of people just join. If y'all want to hang out for 2 more minutes, I'll get your questions while I'm here live, but you got to move fast. Yeah. We gonna tell Jeffrey thank you.
All right, folks. So we'll see you on the next go around. It's been like an hour. So yeah. So anywho, but more important, good to see you. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. And Kimmy's,
I'll take a few more questions because we got so many people that just joined.
We got another appointment. I got to get ready.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Bye. Thank you. Sayonara. Okay. Y'all got a few minutes because we got so many people that just joined. I will take your questions really quick. Sheena says these lives are so informational. Oh, you're welcome. Beauty is her name, is cracking up. They said thank you. Sandy says look forward to the next live session. When is it? Sandy, look at the calendar on notaryeducators.com because I don't have it in front of me, but I know we have 5 next month because it's December, but every week. We don't even take a week off for the holidays. We are here every week. Somebody here. It's usually me or Alexis though. And again, we're in the process of actually training people. So yeah, check it out. So I see we got a lot of people for real. I got a few more minutes. If you got a question, go back and watch the beginning. But if you got something live that you want to know right now, let's do it while I'm here because it's the best time to get your answers. And I'll see you too, Sandy. Looking forward to it. let's go. If you got any questions really quick, this is the best time to get it done. I will come back to the chat, but I don't know when I'm gonna get to the chat. I'll be honest with y'all. But we go live every day. So just about every day. Not the weekends. But sometimes I will. If I'm dressed and I'm feeling good, I got a little burst of energy, I'll hop on the live. No questions? Okay, maybe people are just popping through. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Oh, wait, Beauty is her name says, doing notary work is becoming imperative now, considering everything that's going on. Oh, Beauty is her name. Thank you. I was gonna let Jeffrey go because I know we got to get ready for another appointment. But really quick, really quick. To Beauty is her name point. I have been preaching. If you've watched me the last couple months, own your business. If it's not notary, own a lawn care business, own a daycare business, own a mobile eyebrow business, own something in addition to your regular 9 to 5. I don't know if you've been hearing about me talk about my new thing with Creators Club with Kimmi, where I will be teaching people how to get into this digital world and make money. These children, 5 years old, babies have YouTube channels, and they are making money, okay? So my next venture is to teach you all who are interested how to make digital money, no matter what industry you're in. If you're cutting grass, then you need to have a Google My Business page. Most small business owners don't have a Google page. So I'm going to help you set that up. They need to be on social media. They need to be on Instagram. They need to be on TikTok. All of those things will grow your business if you're an entrepreneur. Now, I already teach these things in our notary side, right? But I'm starting a new venture. And again, you can check out the website and everything. It's not ready, so don't try to buy nothing. But it's Creators Club with Kimmi. All K's. Creators with a K, Club is with a K, and Kimmy's with a K, okay? So check it out, and you can join that channel already. I'm rebranding it. I have not completed, put out a new video yet over there, but it's already a whole bunch of business videos. But the actual rollout is coming soon. I'm waiting on a few more things to get in place. But I'm going to be teaching people, again, Creators Club with Kimmi, and Notary Educators is not going anywhere. But my other passion is business, straight up business. I love helping anybody. I can look at your business in 5 minutes and tell you what you need to do. Notary business, it don't matter what you have. I can teach you in 5 minutes. Look at your business overall and tell you need ABC and help you to grow it if you want to. Now you got to put in the work, but I got you. So it's going to work the same way Notary Educators does. We will have weekly sessions. We have a whole course library. You can go over there and look at the course library now, but it's not available for sale yet. But it's coming soon. Creators Club with Kimmi, because we need a whole second stream of income, y'all. Some of us need to grow what we already have. Others of us don't have nothing but our 9 to 5. And if that 9 to 5 goes away, which we saw what can happen really quick and it's shut down, in 2 seconds, your whole everything is over. Imagine if you are running your business, even part-time, your notary business, just part-time, 1 day a week to have something. And then if your actual 9 to 5 goes away, now we can double back to our notary business and do it full-time. So the question came up in chat yesterday, our live session rather. The question came up, well, when I'm getting these alerts and notifications from signing companies, do I need to let them know that I cannot take the assignment? No, you do not have to respond. You just don't. But now you're not working. Your 9 to 5 is gone for whatever reason. You got fired, terminated, laid off, or whatever they want to put in there, furloughed. Any of that happened to you. Now you can rely on your notary business to start taking the jobs. They're not going to ask you where you've been at because they already sent it out to other notaries and stuff too. So you don't have to worry and say, well, they're not going to pick me because no, the moment you're ready to work, they're ready to hire you. Okay. So yes, own something, own your own business. If it's not notary, God bless you, whatever it is, but have another stream where you're not completely dependent on someone else. I've always had a little something that I did in addition to my job when I worked at the hospital. We did a daycare. We had a daycare for 4 years. Now, when I did the daycare, I wasn't working anywhere else, but we also did mobile detailing, mobile car detailing. People will pay you for that. I learned just recently, we were at Home Depot, I was doing a mystery shopping, that you can rent, and I didn't know that you can rent a lawnmower. So, for example, just say you don't have a lawnmower and you want to start a lawnmower business, okay? then I'm going to teach you how to do that. You can line up 10 appointments, rent a lawnmower for $40. Okay, go to Home Depot, rent it for $40, line up 10 jobs, $60 per job, 6 times. How many jobs did I just say? I forgot. But just say you line up, I don't know, 10 jobs in one day, $60. That's $600, right? That's $600 you pay for the lawnmower that you rented for $40. You done made over $500 in one day. Booyah! So your girl knows business, okay? Your girl knows how to do business. So I'm so excited to roll out Creators Club with Kimmi. I could scream. I'm so excited. If you think I love notary, guys, if you think I love notary, I love business. So it's a business credit course. It's all kind of stuff over there. So when I roll it out, you guys will be the first to know, and I'll probably give y'all a little discount or something. I don't know. That's just what we do. How about that? But anyway, it's not out yet. But for you that are listening to me, have another stream of income. Have something. It could be part-time. Again, it doesn't have to be full-time. It does not. The question is always, I want to do it full-time. I want to do it full-time. Just get your feet wet. And then your full-time, because somebody asked us in our actual chat, you know, we have the 7-day-a-week chat. Somebody asked us the other day, well, how do I know when it's time to go full-time? You will know when it's time. You will know when it's time to go full-time in whatever business you're doing. Will it be enough to cover all of your expenses and your health insurance and all of that? You will know. And right now, for the majority of you, starting out part-time is just going to be a step in the right direction. Okay? For many of you, you don't have a second business. And really quick, by those who, for those that are here right now, put a 1 in the chat if you actually do have another business. Do you have something else right now? If you're not already doing notary as a side thing, do you all have something else that you're doing? Sandy says, I love that you are full-fledged on chopping her, and you know what we never stop thinking. I didn't get part of that, full-fledged on chopping. You never her, and you know. I didn't quite get all that, Sandy. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Lori W. Yeah. Like and subscribe for me. So, but do you see what I'm saying? The majority of you don't have anything else to fall on. And if this shut down here didn't teach you something, a lot of you have skills and talents too, but you just don't know what to do. You have skills and talents. You want to write an ebook. You want to, my new thing, Creators Club with Kimmi, covers everything. You want to learn how to write an ebook. You want to know how to do a podcast. Some of you may not want to do YouTube. I will even teach you how to do YouTube. I have a YouTube course. So well, that's a whole nother topic. But many of you need to be doing YouTube. You got something to talk about. Do you know how to bake chocolate chip cookies better than anybody else? Is everybody always asking about your chocolate chip cookies? Are they always asking about your red velvet cake? Right? Do you know how to cook? Can you show people on YouTube how to cook? So that's what Creators Club with Kimmi is all about. I'm getting ready to take y'all there. Those who want to go on the journey. This is actually a job, guys. So I'm going to wrap up. I meant you are a full-fledged entrepreneur. Oh, thank you, guys. Let me get this call right quick because I think this is actually a client. And I've already been here over time. So I'm going to see y'all soon over in notaryeducators.com, okay? Mentorship, but I got to get this call. Okay.